Hello everybody. I apologize if I have a bit of a lisp right now, which I can clearly hear it right now. I bit the absolute shit out of my tongue the other day, and it has not been fun dealing with that. But with that being said, a lot of you, especially if you're here in Florida, probably recently heard about the gator attack / guy who died in Taylor Park after retrieving Frisbees from disc golf from in the lake. I've had a lot of back and forth with people, and it really got me thinking about gator attacks. Especially, I'm mostly going to focus here in Florida because we have the most people, a huge portion of the population of gators, and Florida is just very well known for it. I guess my overall thoughts on it are, it obviously is no good when someone dies. I'm not happy in any way that the guy died. In fact, it's very sad. With that being said, it is very well known in Florida, along with a few other things like our state bird is a mosquito. Just because it says 70% chance of rain doesn't mean it's going to rain everywhere all day. You can dodge that rain, no problem. You can still go to the beach. And basically, if there's a body of water at one point in time, it had a gator in it. That's just, everyone who is from here knows that. And it's a very common thing. I grew up being taught in school to zigzag away from a gator if they come up at you. Run back and forth. I literally was taught that on a field trip to Taylor Park, the exact park where this guy died. There are a few gators in there that are huge, or were gators in there that were huge, and have been there for a very long time, and they are very well known. In fact, in the area where he was swimming, I remember walking down there as a kid and having a gator follow me and my dad along the bank, opening its mouth and just keeping it like that and slowly closing it, and opening its mouth and slowly closing it. And you know what we did when we saw that? We walked away from the water because we knew that that gator was probably fed, which is the biggest issue. People feed them and they get used to people and associate them with food. Not saying that's exactly what happened here. From what I understand, the guy was swimming looking for Frisbees that he was selling because he says he knew the risks and that it was his way to make money because he couldn't get a job. Again, a very sad situation, but multiple gators were removed from the lake and were euthanized. And that is where my problem comes in. That's where I start getting kind of frustrated with the situation. In Florida, we have upwards of 1.3 million gators throughout the state. In Florida, every year, there's roughly about 7,000 nuisance gators removed from the waters. And a nuisance gator is basically any gator that is either too big for the area it's in, so people start getting scared of it, or it's starting to show signs of aggression, or it actually attacks somebody. Now, not all nuisance gators are killed. Some of them are sold to farms, like alligator farms, where they either breed them. Also, they are sold to amusement parks, zoos, all sorts of stuff like that. But a good portion of them, especially if they're the aggressive gators that are moved, because say went after someone's dog as an example, they are put down. Now, with all of those gators here in the state of Florida, you would think there would be more attacks. I mean, we have roughly 118 million people last year visited the state, and we have 22 million current residents. 130 million people in the state. Now, the crazy part is that between 1948 and 2021, 442 unprovoked attacks happened. Now, that sounds like a decent little bit, but that between the 442 unprovoked attacks, there were only 26 deaths. And over the past few years, with their populations rebounding, it went from an average of 1 to 2 deaths a year to now it's about 7 deaths a year total. Now, this isn't an exact number, but 130 million people, 7 deaths, that comes out to 0.000005385%. Like, minuscule numbers, basically not even something to worry about. And when you take into account that there are over 7,800 lakes and over 12,000 miles of rivers and streams, you start to see that the numbers are just so minuscule that they're basically not even anything to worry about. But when it happens, people freak out. A few years ago, there was a kid who died at Disney. He was near the water at night, and he was attacked and killed by a gator. Very sad situation still. But the chances of it happening are so slim, it's almost not even something to worry about. Like, as a Floridian growing up, I don't swim in fresh water. The only time I do is in a spring, and there are gators in the springs. I just went to Rainbow River 2 weeks ago, and there was a 4-foot gator sitting up on the bank within 10 feet of me. That gator was so used to people, and also it was a smaller gator, it just didn't care. Now, I'm sure if it gets past a certain size, it will be removed as a nuisance gator, and what happens to it will happen to it. My frustration now lies with the fact that, with all of this being said, how few people are actually killed by gators every year. How few people are even attacked by gators every year. And the sheer amount of gators we have here, it shows that it's obviously not that big of an issue. But yet, a gator ends up killing a man, and all of the gators in that lake are found, captured if they were over 4 feet, and euthanized. Most of those gators didn't do anything wrong, and I know they have to find which one did it. But even with that being said, because of a guy getting in the water with this gator, and no one knows exactly what happened, I can't make assumptions on it, but usually when there's an attack that happens, it's because you went into their territory. You know, there's a nest, you literally step right on it. He's feeling around at night, because it happened at night. When the attack happened at night, that's when the gators are most active. He is in the water with them at night in a lake that you're not supposed to swim in, because it is known that there are gators, and he knew the risks. Yet those gators are going to suffer the consequences of that. I care about gators. I love them. Water puppies. Yeah, they can be dangerous. Absolutely, they can kill you. I'm not going to get in the water when I know that there are big gators around. But that's the common sense part of it. You get in the ocean when you go, or the Gulf, and there are plenty of sharks out there. And if I was attacked by a shark, which again, another very slim chance, I'm not going to sit here and blame the shark. You got into their home, their habitat. Our habitats are shrinking as it is. And more we encroach on their home. And somebody is attacked and sadly killed. And we immediately kill the gators. I don't know what the solution is to this. I don't think those gators should have been killed. I guess I kind of made this video because of the frustration I've had over the past few days thinking about this situation. I wish I had better answers, but I also think there is a risk management and consequences to your actions. And if your actions result in your death, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to kill the animal. They're just doing their thing, living life how they normally would. You got in the water with it. You were killed. That gator has lived there for years and hasn't killed anybody. That man has been in that water many times over the years, and it happened that one time. It's not like it was the first time he did it. So what do we do in a situation like this? Let me know what you think below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please be as harsh as you want. I know there are going to be people who are not going to agree with me on this. But at the same time, I know there are plenty of people who do. So let me know what you think below, and you'll have a good rest of your day.